So when I was in my sophomore year, I was praying for friends. I feel like that's such a big prayer amongst Gen Zers. They like, I want friends. I want somebody that I can go get coffee with. I want somebody to do Bible study with. I think some of us don't really realize the prayer that we're praying. Because if you were to be put in a position where you got one of the most valuable friendships in the season where you couldn't have handled it, you would ruin a lot of the friendships without those testing and allowing the Lord to really make your heart soft, and allow you to appreciate the friendships that he gives you. And I was in a season where I was really praying for friends, and honestly to the point where it became an idol. And I remember one day the Lord asked me while I was praying for friends, I was like, Lord, give me friends. The Lord said, Alexis, are you a good friend to me? And I was like, oh my gosh, like he literally asked me, am I a good friend to him? And I realized that I wasn't a good friend to God. And the Lord started making me list out the attributes that I wanted in a friend. And so I was like, Lord, I want people to be on time for me. I want people to show up for me. I want people to be there for me. I want people that I could have a good time with. I want people that know me. And the Lord said, okay, now take those attributes and apply them to our friendship. And so the Lord began to take me on a journey of what it means to be a friend of God. Like Abraham, he was called a friend of God. And so I was like, I want to be a friend of God. And so the Lord said, okay, since you care about people flaking on you and people not showing up, stop flaking on me when you say you want to spend time with my presence. And so I was like, okay. And so the Lord told me at 7 a.m. every day, go to the prayer tower and spend time with me. And so it was so stretching. It was stretching. I would be out with my friends the night before at church or just hanging out. And I would have to leave early. And I'd be like, I have somewhere to be at 7 a.m. I just was like, I have an appointment at 7. And it wasn't legalism. It wasn't being religious, but I simply wanted to take what I desired to see in my friendships and I applied it with the Lord. And I'm like, you know what? I need to be at the prayer tower at 7. So I would wake up at 6 and I would make sure that I was in the room by 7 because I wanted to be on time for my friend Jesus. Yeah. And so from there, the Lord was just speaking to me and I was learning what it meant to be a friend of God. And so there was different things that would happen. And because of this relationship that I was building with the Lord, he was speaking to me so clearly. And so from that, there's a ministry that I started in Chicago back in 2020 called Bonfire Sessions. And so it started in my house. Basically, during the pandemic, I wanted to meet with people. I was tired of, not seeing people. And the Lord gave me this ministry of doing bonfires in my backyard. But at the end of every bonfire, burning something in the fire, writing something on a sheet of paper you want to let go of and burning it in the fire, and seeing yourself be set free from it. And we would see people get saved, delivered, and set free in my backyard. And so that grew in Chicago. There was nothing in me when I came to ORU that I was thinking like, I'm going to bring this to ORU and just set this campus on fire. Like, no, that's not what I was seeing for myself. I just wanted to be obedient. And so in my sophomore year, as I'm learning what it means to be a friend of God, the Lord says, Alexis, on October 28th, you're going to do a bonfire in Oklahoma. And I was like, okay. And so that sounded cool. That sounded fun. I mean, unless you understood that it was 2 weeks until the bonfire. It was October 14th. And so I was like, okay, that's in 2 weeks. And then on top of that, there was a burn ban, which basically wasn't allowing any fires in this county. So I'm like, I have this word from the Lord. I'm spending time and the Lord says, do this bonfire. And there is not you cannot have a bonfire. You cannot light any trash. You can't even light a flame or the police are coming to your door.